I'm sitting around one day, and all of a sudden, I get this epiphany to find Miss Ritchie, to find that person that made the difference in my life. And I started searching for her, and I couldn't find her. I didn't know where she was. And it took me like 3 months to find her, and I finally found her. And I called the number with great anticipation, and I had anxiety. And her husband picks up the phone and says, "Hello." I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "My name is Mark Anthony Garrett. I'm looking for Betty Jean Ritchie. She taught at Kitty Hawk Elementary School in 1977. We had a kingdom." And so, it just came out. He said, "Kingdom? What are you talking about? Wild kingdom?" Or, and so, but that's what I remember. And he says, "Okay." I says, "Well, I'm an old student, and I'm doing this now. I just wanted to make sure she was okay. I wanted to talk to her because I wasn't sure if she had passed away." And I said, "Well, is she there?" And he started chuckling. He said, "Yeah, she's here. You want to talk to her?" I said, "Yes, I do." I says, "But could you just make sure that you don't tell her who I am? I want to surprise her." He says, "All right." Puts the phone down, and he says, "Jean?" And she says, "Yes." He said, "Well, some guy's on the phone for you." And she was like, "Well, who is it?" "I think it's your boyfriend." So, and so I'm going all in and cracking up. He said, "I don't know, some guy's still in the car. Just get on the phone." He starts chuckling, right? He has a great sense of humor. So I can kind of hear her coming to the phone, and my heart is beating. I'm just like, "Oh, my God, what am I going to say?" I'm so nervous. And the thing about it was, she picks up the phone, and Miss Ritchie, she says, "Hello." And I said, "Miss Ritchie?" She says, "Yes." I said, "Miss Ritchie, 1977, Kitty Hawk Elementary School." I said, before I could finish, she says, "Mark Anthony Garrett." She says, "How are you, son?" And I'm taken back, and you talk about a surreal spiritual moment. It was kind of freaky. And I stood there for a minute. She says, "Hello." I said, "Yes." I says, "Miss Ritchie, it's me, it's Mark." I says, "But, oh my God, it's been so long. How did you know it was me?" And she says, "Mark, I have caller ID." So, after, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So I feel this small, right? I'm like, okay, caller ID, yeah. How do you rebound from this one, right? So after I can recompose myself, Kentucky, I said, "Okay, well, Miss Ritchie, this is what I'm doing." I started spazzing out, the same way I did when I was 8. She says, "Well, why don't you come and see me?" And so we planned the day, and I went and saw her, and I'm in my car. I'm trying to rehearse this speech. "Miss Ritchie, you were my destiny." And, all of a sudden, this higher voice says, "Get out the car and just go knock on the door." And so what you saw, we staged that one. But before that, I go up to her house. I knock on the door. And she comes to the door, and she opens up the door. And the first thing she says, before she says anything, she says, "See, I knew you were going to be significant." And at that moment, I was done. We walk in, and I give her this big hug, and her husband's standing in the background. I'm hugging her, and I just kind of hug her and pick her up. She's like, "Put me down." So I put her down. And I was excited, man. I was excited. And we sat down, and we talked about everything, about life, about purpose, about destiny. And it was an emotional moment, and she started crying. I started crying. She had a little cute toy poodle. It's crying. So everything in the house is crying, And as I'm getting ready to leave after staying there for 3 or 4 hours, I get up and I walk out, and she says this. She says, "Mark, will you fight for them?" And I stopped, and I turned around, and I said, "Ma'am?" She said, "Will you fight for them?" I said, "I'm confused. I don't understand." She says, "Will you fight for every kid who can't fight for themselves? Will you dedicate your life to making sure the kids smile, that every kid has a safe home, and that those people who inspire them and who care for them remember and understand how significant they are?" She said, "I'm 86 years old, and my time is done. I pass the baton to you." And I said, "Yes, Miss Ritchie, I will." So I'm walking out the door. She gives me a hug. She kisses me on the cheek. She says, "Keep your chin up and help the world understand their significance." I cried all the way home. So as I end this speech today, I want to let you guys know you guys are awesome. You guys are more precious than you could ever imagine. And if we can help one kid at a time to understand his or her significance, we can make the world a better place one day, one kid at a time. I love you. This has been an honor. God bless you. Thank you so much. Oh, God. They're standing up. They're standing. You guys are too much. Thank you.